I think if you look at the history of life on Earth, then life began pretty much as soon as it could. So we have good evidence that 3.8 to 4 billion years ago, there are microbes on Earth, which is almost immediately after the oceans formed on the planet, on the young planet. So that gives a sense, I think, if I to guess, of inevitability about the transition from geochemistry to biochemistry, which is what happened on Earth.
Exactly.
So therefore, I wouldn't be surprised if we see life did exist or may still exist subsurface on Mars. There's the moon of Saturn, Enceladus, which has got oceans below the surface. Europa around Jupiter, which has got oceans and volcanic activity. So I would not be surprised at all if we found life.
Also, we have to remember of the percentage chance with all the galaxies and all the suns, and then what life is. People give it too much credit what life is. Now, life is a blob of protein that can reproduce itself. So that must be more likely. It's just chemistry. We all are just chemistry. Yeah. So. But what people want is a little bloke in a silver suit. Talking like that.
This is where it gets interesting, because then if you look at the history of life on Earth, you have 3.5 billion years, basically, where nothing much happens.
Yeah.
You get some cool things, photosynthesis in bacteria and things like that, and algae, but not much.
No.
And then, about 550 million years, 600 million years ago, you get something called the Cambrian explosion, where suddenly you get all these things, trilobites and all this, and then dinosaurs and everything come. And so the question is, how likely is that? And a lot of biologists I speak to say that is very unlikely. I mean, the theory is, it's called the fateful encounter hypothesis. So you say, how did multicellular life emerge? These colonies of cells cooperating, which is what we are.
Exactly, an organism.
And it looks like you can trace the origin back to the formation of a particular cell type, out of which all things like us and every blade of grass and tree is made, called the eukaryotes. But it's a cell with a nucleus and that thing you learn about at school.
A membrane and
all that stuff. And it looks like that happened by the merger of two more primitive cells. And we even know what they are. There's one called an archaean and one called a bacterium. It looks like the bacteria got inside the archaean, so went in, got inside that cell, and that thing not only survived, which is impossible. How did one cell eat another one and survive? But managed to reproduce like that. And that looks like it happened once. It's almost certain it happened once in one ocean somewhere. Oh, really? And that's the foundation of all complex life on Earth.
And that was the Sea of Galilee. And Jesus put that little thing in that cell.
That's amazing, considering that at that point there was only cells. What must Jesus look like?
Because
he was a big cell, but
free
with a beard
your
and
mind. Free your mind.
I will free it.
You're thinking of him because God can do anything. That's the other thing.
He's going to do
That's the other thing. How did that happen? God can do anything.
Yeah.
Done. End of argument. Because God.
Can you imagine though? I mean, if that's true, we think it is. So that you can trace it back, everything, us and everything, to one event. So you asked, does that happen in other places? A lot of people say no.
But what I always thought was...
We were talking earlier, I've got a friend, a biologist, who said if you look at the Milky Way, 20 billion Earth-like planets, we think. 1 in 10 of the stars has an Earth-like planet.
A Goldilocks planet.
Yeah, 1 in 10 of them, 20 billion. But he thinks that if he was to guess, then all there would be slime. Yeah. So no civilizations.
So that thing that happened here probably almost, well, not probably, but
we don't know. Yeah, but it could be really unlikely.
So what we've got is this at our disposal is just real estate, isn't it? Really,